Okay, so the best strategy to discover new melodic and lyrical ideas is the same strategy that I use to overcome writer's block. Okay, and that is to use different songwriting techniques. All right, that's one part of it. Use different songwriting techniques. So if you're used to a particular way of writing a song, let's say you come up with a chord progression. Nice. I like it. What am I gonna do on top of it? Okay, so my usual thing is to hum, na na na, gibberish on top of this, okay? So let's see. With lightning on the side, with it on the red and on my mind. Okay? Alright. I'm not happy with this. I feel like it's stale. I feel like I've done it before. I feel like, you know what? This is like deja vu. I need something fresh. I need something new. Okay, well, instead of just doing that, try mixing it up a bit. The first thing I would do is take these chords and try playing them somewhere else on the neck. All right? So instead of playing them here, my first approach would be to go open chords. Okay, so let's go down here. Okay? You can muck around with open chords a lot easier than bar chords and get a different feel. It's already sounding different to me. I'm already starting to get a bit of a different inspiration. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh, lighting on the road away, I feel you waiting on the side. It's taking me somewhere else. Oh, it's lighting on the road is long and lonely. Oh, light in my mind. Something different. Same chord progression, but a different strumming style. Instead of strumming, obviously I'm arpeggiating it. It's a different feel, different approach, different vibe. Okay? And that's the first way. The easiest way is just take the progression that you already have, whether you're on the guitar, whether you're on the piano, on software, whatever, change it up a bit, change up the tempo, change where the chords are, open chords instead of bar chords instead of open chords. Switch it up, you know? You're used to gibberish, start na-na-naing a little bit, da-da-das, humming, you know? Just change your usual approach, your usual routine. And of course, in this situation, we're using the freestyle technique, right? So you can't really jump into the other, like the inspired technique or the favorite mistake technique, because that assumes that you already started with a song that you know, right? We're getting the inspiration from an existing song. The freestyle technique is just out of the blue, anything goes. But if you're starting from scratch, if you're starting like from a clean slate, you can use the inspired technique and the favorite mistake technique to start off and use those techniques to get inspiration for a new song. Okay? So, and if one song doesn't work, of course, as we know on the course, try another song and try a different approach to what you normally would do. That is the best way to get fresh, new melodic ideas. As for lyrics, again, try something different. If you're sitting there just trying to figure out lyrics, okay, I see you coming round the way. I see you loving on. That's, again, freestyle. It's just figuring things out. Okay, what can I put there? What can I, whatever, right? Well, there's other songwriting techniques. David Bowie's cut-up technique is pretty amazing. Okay, so there's even a website where you can do this now called the Verbicizer, verbicizer.com. But what he used to do is he used to get like newspaper clippings, magazines, whatever, and just cut up, literally cut with a pair of scissors, cut up little quotes that he found interesting. You know, just cut them up, little sentences, little phrases, little, you know, whatever, things that intrigued him, and just cut up these magazines and these little bits of paper and then mix them all together and then just pluck them out and mix them together. Make them fit. and he'd come up with some incredible ideas. And that piece of software, it's actually not software, it's a website. You can actually do that on there. But for me, it's when you cut it up, it's different. It's just amazing. I know there's, magazines and newspapers are not readily available anymore. I mean, who has magazines lying around? But if you do, give that a shot. It's pretty amazing. Otherwise, get on the website and check that out. But the idea here is just to mix things up. Okay, so you're stuck, because this also works for writer's block, right? So you're stuck or you're bored with the same old ideas that you're coming up with, or you don't know where to go next. Try something different. Try something that you haven't tried before. Read up on some songwriters' techniques, famous songwriters that you love and you admire. They've done all kinds of interviews and talked about their songwriting techniques. And in the resource section, you'll find that if you haven't seen it yet, it's in the resource section. Okay, where songwriters, I've got interviews of songwriters, the most famous songwriters, the most successful songwriters, and what they did, to tackle this songwriting, thing, this creative, to get the creative juices flowing, to get fresh new ideas. Okay, because it can get stale. So check that out. Always change it up, just give yourself fresh approaches and new ideas. And if you really want to take your songwriting to the next level and get fresh songwriting ideas where you would normally never go to and never explore, okay, this is the best technique that I have and the best piece of advice that I give to my students and people on the forums, everybody, because everybody's got this same question, how do I get inspiration? How do I get fresh new ideas? I'm always playing the same thing. I'm always going around the same structures and always, the same approach. Try this, okay? The next time you put the radio on or you put some music on, Spotify, whatever you use, all right? Start listening to a genre that you normally don't listen to, okay? You normally listen to country. All right, go and listen to some hip hop. Plug in some jazz. Plug in some classical. Whatever. Any genre that you want, as long as it's not the genre that you listen to normally and that you write in. Okay? Try another genre and do it for a while. Don't just listen to one or two songs or 1 or 2 days. My advice, do it for a week. Okay? Listen to some jazz for a week. Okay? Initially, it'll be like a shock to the system. It'll be like, man, I don't get it. But after a couple of days, you'll start tracking with this new genre that you're listening to. And I promise you, it'll translate and carry over into your songwriting and your playing. Okay? It's just the way we're wired. So give that a shot the next time you want some fresh new melodic ideas, or if you have some writer's block. This works amazing for writer's block as well. Check out some other genres. Okay?